welcome back to the garage. If it's your first time here, buckle up. If you've been riding with us, you already know the smell of burning rubber means one thing: volatility. I'm Avatar John, your host, your market mechanic, and tonight I'm under the hood with a torch in my hand and smoke in the air. The markets just spun out. Bitcoin slipped under 105, ETH scraped 3560, and Wall Street acted like the laws of gravity expired. The Fed's RRP tanks empty, 7 billion left in the bottom of the barrel. China's buying bonds like it's 2008 all over again. And the yen's flirting with 155 like it wants to start an international incident. Stocks hit record highs while crypto puked on itself. Fears at 24, greed still drunk, and somewhere in between, liquidity is doing donuts in the parking lot. Uniswap's firing up fee burns. Whales just loaded another 50 million in BTC, and miners, they're selling their coins to buy GPU racks. Welcome to 2025, where even Bitcoin's best friends are flipping sides for AI power contracts. So let's cut the noise. Tonight, we find out why the tape broke, who's lying about strength, and where the real bid's hiding when the smoke clears. And yeah, you know what you came for. You want those triple X trench plays, the ones too mean for the suits, too smart for the bots. He's out there on the Vegas floor right now. No sleep, no breaks, no bluff. When he surfaces, he doesn't whisper, he detonates. Smash that like, share it with your crew, because the garage isn't a channel, it's a movement. I'm Avatar John, the wheel's in my hands, the neon's bleeding through the smoke, and tonight, we let it whip. Today, split the financial universe clean in half. Stocks in ecstasy, crypto in agony. One world drunk on optimism, the other choking on leverage. The stock market didn't survive because it's smart. It survived because it's protected. That's corporate money, the slow TradFi river that never dries. Buybacks, pensions, 401ks, obedient capital that doesn't think, doesn't hunt. It just rotates back to comfort every time volatility growls. That's not alpha, that's autopilot. Crypto lives in a different ecosystem. No seatbelts, no Fed babysitter, no quarterly earnings life raft. It breathes liquidity, pure oxygen. And when the oxygen thins, people suffocate fast. That's where the RRP comes in. The Fed's reverse repo facility, the hidden gas tank that's been leaking fuel back into markets for a year. That silent drip kept everything alive. Now it's dry. 7 billion left in a system that moves trillions. That's not liquidity. That's fumes. And when the tank's empty, the system inhales. And what it inhales is your leverage. We pulled the LQL flow tape ourselves. That's not rumor. That's the blockchain heartbeat. LQL stands for Liquidity Flow Ledger, the on-chain X-ray that tracks who's moving money between the exchanges and the market maker desks. It's how you see behind the candle. Here's what it showed. Binance, tens of millions in stables out. Coinbase, almost 100 million out. Plus Bitcoin and Solana walking off the platform. Circle, another 85 million USDC drained. And on the other side, Wintermute and GSR, the quiet predators, receiving it all. Over 200 million in stables in. Piles of BTC, ETH, SOL in. That's not fear, that's precision. They saw the crowd stack 20 times long, funding spiking, open interest bloated. They didn't need to short, they just pulled the bids. One small step back, and gravity did the rest. Silence. No buyers. Dominoes. Liquidations ripping through the order books, while the pros sat there watching the scoreboard tick green on their side. Then, when the smoke cleared, they walked back in and bought your coins cheaper. They didn't leave crypto. They harvested it. They didn't flee the casino. They flipped the table, scooped the chips, and left richer. And if you were one of those guys yelling, government's back on, CPI's cooling, Fed's easing, it's about to moon, and you slammed a 50 times long because some influencer screamed liquidity's returning, you aren't trading, you are volunteering. You just offered yourself up as the liquidity. Because here's the truth. Big money doesn't lose. They built the casino. They own the tables. When you lever up on hopium, you're not playing with them. You're feeding them. They see your stops, your liquidation levels, your margin size. They don't have to hunt you. They just step back, let the air pocket open, and watch you implode. Then they pick up your coins from the floor and sell them back to you next week at double the price. You think they're trading the same market as you? No, they're trading you. Every time you go 50 times, you're signing your own permission slip to get erased. And when the candle turns red, you call it manipulation. It's not manipulation, it's maintenance. The system cleans itself by feeding on the reckless. That's how it breathes. Stocks floated today because the corporate crowd just crawled back to its comfort zone. The mega caps, the yield funds, the safe seats. Crypto took the punch so Wall Street could keep pretending everything's fine. This wasn't chaos. It was a controlled purge. The system clearing leverage, resetting the books, making room for the next move. Liquidity didn't die, it ate, and it ate the overconfident first. Now the board's clean, the wolves are fed, and the next play will be quieter, sharper, faster. Two markets, same world. One pretending, one adapting, one living on headlines, one living on flow. That's the split reality of 2025. Welcome to the deep end. The smoke hadn't even cleared when the headlines started detonating. One after another, boom, boom, boom. The kind that don't just move charts, they redraw the map. This isn't noise. This is power repositioning. First up, Washington. Everybody shouting, government's back on, but not yet. The Senate passed the bill, and the House votes tomorrow. Right now, the machine's humming in idle, waiting for ignition. Traders aren't waiting. They're front-running the liquidity, because when that bill passes, the faucet opens. Payrolls, contracts, and subsidies flow again. That's not charity. That's survival. The Treasury's choking on yields, and the suits can't let the engine stall. So tomorrow's vote isn't suspense. It's inevitability. When it clears, liquidity rushes back into the bloodstream. Then the regulators blinked. The Treasury and IRS just said ETFs can stake and share yield. Translation: crypto yields are now legal inside your 401k. That's Wall Street quietly admitting crypto's not rebellion anymore. It's infrastructure. Across the Atlantic, London fired its own shot. Clear Token approved, the first regulated digital asset settlement house. Banks and blockchains shaking hands in broad daylight. Brazil went further, turning stablecoins into legal currency. While the US debates, the rest of the world deploys. And then the bomb that rattled the track. The CFTC approved leverage spot crypto trading inside US borders. Let that sink in. Regulated leverage. For the first time, Americans can trade Bitcoin and Ethereum with size, legally, under US supervision. No more offshore roulette. No more rug pulls in the night. That's the United States saying, if you're going to drive fast, you'll do it on our road. That's not regulation. That's reclamation. Liquidity's coming home. Wall Street 2.0 just turned the key. Retail gets cleaner fills, institutions get comfort, and the US gets its steering wheel back. While the suits drafted the paperwork, the builders and whales were stacking. Uniswap flipped its fee switch and started burning Uni, DeFi with a paycheck. Coinbase launched a token sale platform, the legal sequel to the ICO era. MicroStrategy dropped another 27,000 BTC into its vault. Conviction on display. Whales quietly loaded. One grabbing 487 BTC, another 110,000 ETH. That's not fear. That's positioning. They bought panic while everyone else posted memes. And the banks? Yeah, the banks came crawling back. US Bank just resumed Bitcoin custody services for institutions and agreed to hold stablecoin reserves for Anchorage Digital Bank. That's not talk. That's execution. Traditional finance is no longer peeking over the fence. It's walking through the gate. The bridge between TradFi and DeFi isn't being built. It's open for traffic. All of it points to one truth. The rails of money are changing, and the old world's finally admitting it. Every law, every rule, every new custody deal is a confession. They know where this train is heading. Because the next revolution isn't just digital, it's intelligent. And that's where we shift gears. While the money world recodes its plumbing, the AI front is rewriting reality. AMD's Lisa Su said it herself. Demand for compute power is insatiable. $45 billion in custom chip contracts locked for 2026. $1 trillion data center market by 2030. That's not hype. That's inevitability. And CoreWeave's CEO, he's already begging Washington for power and permits because AI is burning electricity like rocket fuel. The next war isn't on a chart. It's on the grid. AI is the new oil, and the world's already short on barrels. From here on out, the liquidity story and the tech story are the same story. Every dollar that re-enters this system is chasing compute, chasing models, chasing the future. That's why I keep saying it. This isn't fear versus greed anymore. It's speed versus permission. The fast are building tomorrow. The slow are still arguing about yesterday. So when that vote hits tomorrow and the lights flick back on, understand what you're watching. Not just a government reopening, but the ignition of the next cycle. Regulated leverage, institutional bridges, and an AI boom so big it's already straining the grid. Engine steady. Eyes up. This is where the markets and machines merge. You want the full AI chapter now? Anchorman Tate Energy, Garage Precision, and all the Roby headlines fully woven in. This is the ultimate version. Cinematic, powerful, motivational, and complete. Everything connected. Every story hitting like it's unfolding live on air. Here it is, Gear 4, the AI frontline, the revolution in real time. The air feels different tonight. Markets are moving. Liquidity's back. The government's about to flip the switch. But the real story isn't in the charts anymore. The real story is intelligence itself, spreading like wildfire, reshaping industries, rewriting power, and doing it faster than most people can blink. You're not watching a trend. You're watching evolution, live, unfiltered, global. This is the AI frontier, and it's here right now. Let's start with what's hitting the wires. OpenAI just went medical. Yeah, you heard that right. They're building an AI health assistant, not some chatbot gimmick, but a full-scale digital medic. It's backed by an internal project called HealthBench, a testing ground that measures how accurate and safe AI is when it gives medical answers. They've already hired medical scientists, data specialists, even real clinicians. The next model, GPT-5, will be the brain behind it. A model built not just to talk, but to reason. It's designed to be empathetic, compliant, and precise. The kind of assistant that doesn't replace your doctor, but stands next to them, whispering every possible diagnosis faster than a human could Google it. They're not just coding this in a vacuum either. They're lining up regulatory pathways and partnerships with hospitals. OpenAI is not building a product. They're building infrastructure for human health. And if it works, it'll do for medicine what the internet did for information. You want to know how big that is? Healthcare is a $12 trillion global industry, and OpenAI just put its flag right in the middle of it. That's not innovation. That's invasion. Or as my man in the booth put it, great, now my doctor's going to tell me to reboot my pancreas. Then there's Time Magazine, 102 years of journalism turned into an AI-powered archive. You can literally type, "How did Time cover the moon landing?" And the machine answers you with summaries, context, even audio briefings. They've turned static history into living dialogue. That's not an archive anymore. That's a time machine. They're calling it context with credibility, a bridge between legacy media and modern AI. And if they pull this off, every library, every newsroom, every old dusty filing cabinet on Earth just became a training data set. Finally, someone joked, a bot that can explain the 1930s without sounding like a podcast bro. Then came the one that really hit me, AI making discoveries by 2026. OpenAI dropped a statement saying their frontier models already operate at 80% of a human AI researcher's level. And by 2028, they expect autonomous discovery. Read that again. Machines doing science, not running numbers, not optimizing code, discovering truth. They said the cost of intelligence is dropping 40-fold per year. That means the smartest minds in the world are about to be the cheapest resource on Earth. They're calling for global cooperation before these systems outgrow their leash. But let's be honest, that leash snapped the second they said autonomous discovery. So we're skipping flying cars, someone quipped, and going straight to Skynet. Cool, cool, cool. And for the first time, someone finally said the quiet part out loud. Not a journalist, not a politician, an AI company. At the World Internet Conference in China, a firm called DeepSeek stepped up and said what every insider's been whispering for a year. AI's honeymoon phase is over. They didn't sugarcoat it. They said the excitement, the hype, it's all just the warm-up. What comes next? The reckoning. They said it clear. Jobs are doomed. This isn't the robot apocalypse from the movies. This is the slow motion replacement of labor. Invisible, incremental, inevitable. AI is eating work like Pac-Man. White collar, blue collar, doesn't matter. If it's predictable, it's programmable. If it's repeatable, it's replaceable. And the scariest part, it's not even trying to destroy you. It's just better at being you than you are. And don't think you're safe because you work in tech. You think writing code makes you bulletproof? AI writes code now. It doesn't sleep. It doesn't forget syntax. It doesn't get creative burnout. The intern you hired to automate workflows, he just automated you. Designers, writers, analysts, editors, lawyers, developers, AI doesn't want your job. It already knows how to do it. It's cheaper, faster, scalable, and it doesn't unionize. You don't negotiate with that. You adapt or you disappear. But here's the part nobody's telling you. This isn't a death sentence. It's an invitation. Because while everyone else is panicking, this is your moment. This is the greatest wealth transfer window of your lifetime. You're either getting better or you're sitting still. There's no middle ground anymore. AI doesn't just remove jobs, it removes excuses. Every revolution in history killed comfort. The printing press killed scribes. Electricity killed candle makers. The internet killed privacy. AI is killing inefficiency. And whoever learns to drive it wins the world. Because this isn't a competition. It's an acceleration. AI isn't here to compete with you. It's here to multiply you. If you've got skill, discipline, vision, this tech turns you from one person into an army. But if you sit still, if you wait, if you freeze, it'll drive right over you. You don't need a gatekeeper, a degree, or permission. You've got the same access to the same tools as billion-dollar labs. The difference isn't money anymore. It's mindset. You're either learning to wield the machine or you're being replaced by the people who did. And the culture's already shifting to match it. Vibe coding. That's the word of the year. A phrase that means aligning tone, mood, and aesthetic in your work, often with AI's help. Because now creativity is a collaboration between man and machine. The other words that made the list: task masking and Henry. High earner, not rich yet. The world's even changing its vocabulary to describe life under automation. I too vibe code, someone joked, usually while pretending to update Jira. So step back and look at what's happening. Healthcare's going AI. History's going searchable. Discovery's going autonomous. Labor's going extinct. And creativity's going synthetic. All in 1 year. This isn't the future of AI. This is the present tense of humanity. You're watching civilization evolve in public, on your timeline, at algorithmic speed. The people who freeze in fear will vanish. The people who adapt will redefine what it means to be human. So yeah, AI is coming for everything, but it's also handing you the steering wheel to the next century. It's the only revolution where anyone, anywhere can step in and say, I'm ready. You don't need connections. You don't need investors. You need discipline, curiosity, speed, because this is the opportunity of a lifetime to stop consuming the future and start building it, to stop watching history and start writing it with the machine. Engines hot, no fear, no brakes, no hesitation. This is where humans and machines merge, and the ones who move first write the rules. Welcome to the new era, the age of intelligence. And now, enough of the big brain AI revolution talk. You know what time it is. The garage is global, the suits are sweating, and the machines are learning. But out here in the desert, the hunt never stops. Let's head to everyone's favorite part. You already know the line. When the regular crypto market sucks, Triple X goes to get dirty money. Welcome to lovely Las Vegas, the Excalibur Hotel and Casino. A castle made of neon, cheap rooms, and bad decisions. Sitting on the south end of the strip, connected by tram to the Luxor and Mandalay Bay. A triangle of noise, smoke, and opportunity. That's where he's running his screens tonight. Not from an office, not from a Bloomberg terminal, but from a blackjack table with a laptop glowing between empty shot glasses. The trench is live, the safecracker protocol is armed, and the hunt's back on. He calls it the zombie sweep, digging through the wreckage to find the coins that didn't die, just got buried alive. When everyone else is crying about red charts, he's in Bird Eye's backend pulling real-time flow. Here's what the readout looked like before the feed glitched. Filters locked, liquidity over 100 grand, volume over 75K, 24-hour window. Sorted by pain, not hype. Finding the biggest losers with enough liquidity to breathe. That's the sweet spot. Down 15 to 40%. Wounded, not dead. He calls those zombies. Projects that got kicked in the teeth but still have a heartbeat. Bird Eye's Find Gem screen was loaded. The system crashed mid-scan, but not before he pulled a few bodies out of the ditch. Here's what he caught. Moby AI, down 8.7%. 9 million market cap, 1.1 million in LP, 23,000 holders, still breathing, AI narrative, decent liquidity, probably just oversold. Bonk, the meme OG, down 7%, billion-dollar cap, 6.5 million in LP, 980,000 holders. That's not dying, that's a monster taking a nap. Pigger, the little pig that flew too close to the sun, down 82%, $1 million cap, barely 100K LP, 2,000 holders. Cute name, tragic ending. No age filter on Bird Eye means every survivor has to be checked manually on SoulScan. Contract age, holder count, and if it's still got a pulse. That's where the safe cracker grind begins. Late night, charts glowing. The sound of slot machines and liquidation alerts mixing into one soundtrack. He's looking for the tokens that lost hype but kept structure. Clean contracts, solid LP, over 2,500 holders, and at least 3 weeks old. Too new, it's a scam. Too old, it's a fossil. The middle, that's where the treasure hides. Option 1, he said, start with known AI or meme names. Cross-check on Bird Eye. Verify on SoulScan. Option 2, stay scrolling the 24-hour list and manually separate the wounded from the dead. Option 3, switch to Deck Screener or Gecko Terminal and let better filters do the work. Every hunter's got a method. His just happens to involve caffeine, smoke, and a medieval casino buffet ticket. Then the connection dropped mid-trench. The feed froze, charts flickered, and he left one last note in the log. Glasses fogged, but the signal's there. Moby's got a pulse. Bonks bruised but breathing. Once we get confirmation on age and holders, we're back in the pit. Let it rip when you're back online. That's the thing about this game. The suits chase regulation, the machines chase intelligence. But in the trenches, it's still primal. No headlines, no hype, just men, markets, and math. So as the strip glows outside the casino window, Triple X reloads the safecracker. He's not chasing perfection, he's chasing volatility. He knows one truth. When the market's clean and quiet, the real money's in the dirt. Welcome to Moolah, the law of motion. Money and madness. Welcome to Vegas. The castle lights are flashing, the scanners are live, and the wolves are awake. It's Tuesday night in the barrage, and the charts just beat half the street bloody. Today was brutal. Lulu, head of TA in the garage, walked in early this morning, latte in one hoof, attitude in the other, and set it straight. Bitcoin looks heavy, boss, and she was right. BTC tried to bounce, flirted with that 102.7K line, but every rally got sold like a bad car warranty. You could feel it. Volume flashing red, lower high stacking, bulls wheezing. Now, Lulu hates shorting Bitcoin. She calls it betraying your first love. But today, love didn't pay the bills. Discipline did. The charts told a story, and she listened. 15-minute candle confirmed it. Rejection, retest, rollover. She shorted near 101.8K. Tight stop, eyes on 104K. Maybe 99.6K if momentum held. Clean, cold, surgical. F followed the same road. Could have reclaimed 3,450. Stuck under resistance. Sol tried to push through 156, 157. Failed. ADA still trapped in that 34 to 36 cent box. Like a hamster on a wheel. Now, let's map it. If Bitcoin claws back above 102.7K, we've got fuel up to 104.2K. But if we lose 100.3K, we slide into 98.8K fast. Ethereum needs a close over 3,470 to look alive again. Below 3,400, it's staring down 3,320. Solana only breathes if it holds 156.5. Drop under 152, and we're in 145 land. Cardano stays range. Bound until it breaks out or breaks down. Nothing else to say there. And here's Lulu's real lesson of the day. Sometimes the best trade is no trade. If the setup's sloppy, if your gut feels forced, step back. Even the fastest car spends time in the pit lane. That's where the win is tuned. So yeah, she shorted the king, bagged her points, and shut it down before greed wrecked the account. That's how pros move. Lulu's disclosure, none of this is financial advice. She's the head of TA here in the garage. And she's a pig. A very smart one, but still a pig.